and welcome to the Watchman. 1,000 years ago, 100 years ago, it would have been impossible. But today, a relationship that was once unthinkable is growing, and I believe it has the potential to change the world. Folks, Bible-believing Christians and Jews are coming together for such a time as this. I see it firsthand when I speak at pro-Israel events around the country. Christians are standing with the Jewish state, and their Jewish friends are returning the love and appreciation after centuries of anti-Semitism at the hands of people who claim to be Christians but were anything but. Rabbi Yechiel Eckstein has been at the very forefront of this movement for decades. His organization, the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, is one of the largest nonprofit organizations in the world. And for many evangelical Christians, the fellowship and Rabbi Eckstein's TV programming have been the gateway to their support for and education about Israel and the Jewish people. Well, Rabbi Eckstein's amazing life story is chronicled in a new authorized biography called The Bridge Builder, the life and continuing legacy of Rabbi Yechiel Eckstein. I talked to him recently to discuss the book, the fellowship's work, and what the Iran nuclear deal means not only for Israel, but for America. Take a look. Talk about the humble beginnings of IFCJ and how it was tough getting things off the ground. You faced a lot of challenges.
I did indeed, and I didn't have a secretary, I didn't have an office, I didn't have a salary, and I asked Pat how he did all that he did and created and built this ministry of CBN, and he said, it's in God's hands and I'll be praying for you and your ministry. Well, I remember walking out of that meeting with him and thinking, oh my gosh, there's another Christian who's going to be praying for me when I need a secretary and an office and a phone, etc. And the next day I got to the office in Chicago, and there was a $10,000 check from Pat. So it really started with nothing. God's blessed us. As you said, we are now one of the largest organizations in the world, and certainly in Israel. And the funds are coming 99% from Christians. And so I believe that what we're witnessing is of the Lord, of Christians blessing Israel and the Jewish people, like Genesis 12:3 says. And at the same time, that's serving as a witness to the Jewish people that true Christians are truest and best friends of Israel and the Jewish people.
Yeah, and Rabbi, it wasn't always easy. In the great new authorized biography, The Bridge Builder, talks about your life story and how you built the fellowship. We have this great Christian pro-Israel movement now that's large, it's growing, but it wasn't always this easy. You were a pioneer and you faced a lot of pushback in the beginning, right?
I did indeed. I was rejected, anathema to the Jewish community. I remember the first time I brought Jerry Falwell of blessed memory to my synagogue in Chicago. I had my head handed to me and by the Jewish community. And the same thing was true because of my relationship with Pat Robertson. The two of them were lightning rods, but at the same time, they were leaders of this whole movement. Today, you can read in the newspapers, the New York Times, about Jews and evangelical Christians opposing the Iran deal or something. That phrase, Jews and evangelical Christians, is understood now as a given. But as you pointed out, it took a lot of pain. The people who have read the book have said to me that Christians and Jews, that they were shocked by the pain that I had to go through in reaching out to work with the Christian community, essentially kicked out of my yeshiva, where I studied Talmud every day, excommunicated by some rabbis, attacked. There were moments, times where I needed physical security guards around me because of threats. And the interesting thing is that while it's pretty much gone and vindicated. I've been vindicated. You still have rabbis on the more right-wing Orthodox, and I'm an Orthodox rabbi, but on the more right-wing, who continue every day almost to attack me and to say that it's prohibited to use any of the gifts that we give. We built 6,000 bomb shelters in Israel, and each one says a gift of love from Christians in America. There are rabbis who say that even in the case of war, they're not allowed to go into that bomb shelter because it was given by Christians. So you still have some groups and some individuals that can't accept the fact that after 2,000 years of fratricide and enmity, there is a new, true Bible-believing Christian that has emerged, and they are our best friends and allies.
Yeah. And who understands the Jewish roots of Christianity. I want everyone to understand, Rabbi, in the book, it's one of the things that struck me as well, the great personal sacrifice you paid and a lot of torment, a lot of pain to pioneer this movement. All of us in the pro-Israel movement owe you a great, great debt for your vision, your bravery, your courage here.
Thank you.
I want to talk a little bit more about what we're going to talk about Iran in the time we have left, and a great new commercial that the fellowship has produced about warning about this Iran nuclear deal and the consequences. But real quick, tell us a little bit more about the fellowship. And by the way, you can find IFCJ.org. You can go see what the fellowship is doing, take part in what they're doing. Tell us a bit more about what you're doing not only in the land of Israel right now, but with Holocaust survivors in Russia and around the world for the Jewish people.
Well, thank you for that question. We have a number of programs. The one that really was the first program we started that Christians have contributed so much to is called On Wings of Eagles, which is bringing Jews on Aliyah from the four corners of the world. As Isaiah prophesied, he even prophesied in chapter 49, a day will come when the Gentiles will carry your sons on their shoulders and daughters in their arms and bring them to the land of Israel. So we're witnessing the fulfillment of prophecy, and millions. We have 1.5 million Christian donors, and we have already brought 400,000 Jews from Ethiopia, from Russia, from Ukraine. We just recently brought a group from an Arab country that I can't mention. And we now, because of the situation in Ukraine, we're focusing there because there are Jewish refugees we've been caring for 2,600 refugees who fled Donetsk, Lugansk, Mariupol, and eastern Ukraine. We set up a refugee camp, the first time since World War II that Jews needed a refugee camp, and now we're bringing them to Israel. We started with one flight a month, now we're up to two. We've already brought over 1,000 Jews from there, and it's all sponsored by Christians. Then we have a program called Isaiah 58, which refers to the chapter in Isaiah that a true fast is feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, not averting our eyes from our flesh and blood. And that helps elderly in the former Soviet Union, children in the former Soviet Union, orphans, street children, and we
Holocaust survivors.
Holocaust survivors.
We've been through so much already.
Yes. And then we have with food, clothing, medicine, heating, fuel. And then we have our program in Israel called Guardians for Israel, which helps with poverty and security for the people of Israel. It's really rather outrageous that we just have a few more years for these Holocaust survivors to live, and they have so many of them, even in Israel, every day have to make a decision between food and medicine and their rent and water, and it's outrageous that that we can't let them lead the last twilight years of their life with a sense of dignity. So all of these are programs that Christians are stepping up to the plate and blessing Israel and Jewish people. And then finally, we have a program called Stand for Israel, which is our prayer and advocacy component, which we just have now taken to direct towards the Iran treaty that America has. We've already, and the ad that you referred to, which is now on Fox and different
Rabbi,
places.
we're going to take, let me stop you right there for a second. We're going to take a look at the ad right now. Folks, this is an ad by the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews warning about this disastrous Iran deal. Take a look. And welcome back. We're wrapping up here on The Watchman. Here's more from my interview with Rabbi Yechiel Eckstein. Tell us your concerns in the short time we have left about this Iranian nuclear deal. The implications not only for Israel and the Jewish people, but for America. This is a global threat.
Exactly. Iran already has strategic ballistic missiles to reach Europe. They're going to, within a very short time, have missiles that can reach the United States. So it's not just ICBMs, right? So it's not just an immediate existential threat to Israel and the Jewish people. We've learned from the Holocaust that when there are those who threaten to kill you, take them seriously. And we've made a vow, never again. The difference between today and the Holocaust is that while America is our ally, our closest ally, we cannot trust in any other nation other than ourselves and God to guide us. And so we all are aware that there is still on the table in Israel at the last moment possible, we can trust that Israel will do the right thing. And I don't believe that President Obama has really kept all the options on the table as he has. We saw what happened with the chemical weapons in Syria. And so this is a threat to the world and an existential threat to Israel and the Jewish people.
And millions of evangelical Christians this time around will be shoulder to shoulder with you and with the Jewish people. And you are a major reason for that, Rabbi. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for warning about this Iran deal. And folks, pick this book up. You see it right here, The Bridge Builder. It is a great authorized biography of Rabbi Eckstein, his fascinating backstory. It's inspiring. I encourage you to pick it up, and it makes sense of a lot of things that are going on today. So, Rabbi Eckstein, thank you so much. It's IFCJ.og. Check it out. Rabbi, keep up the great work. God bless you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Erick. Shalom to you all.
Thanks to Rabbi Eckstein for joining us. Again, folks, the book is called The Bridge Builder. Pick it up. It's a great read.